Hello, everyone. Welcome to this meeting of the South Kingstown Town Council. It is 7 o'clock p.m., Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. First order of business is the pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Will the clerk take the roll, please?
Council President Collins.
Here.
Council Vice President DeCruz.
Here.
Councilwoman Kelso.
Here.
Councilman McAtee.
Here.
Councilman Veely.
Here.
All members present.
Thank you. So the purpose of this meeting tonight is a show cause hearing listed under item 4A relative to a Class B victualler liquor license issued to Anchor Pete's LLC doing business as Anchor Pete's pursuant to General Laws 3-5-20 and 3-5-21 to determine whether to revoke or suspend the license or to impose a fine or take other disciplinary action against the licensee for failure to comply. The alleged violations constituting a breach of the conditions of Anchor Pete's LLC Class B victualler liquor license are violation of General Law 3-8-1, sales to underage persons, and Rhode Island General Law 3-8-5, penalty for violations relating to underage persons.
Mr. Chairman and members of the council, prior to the hearing, I had the opportunity to meet with the owner of Anchor Pete's along with the chief of police. The chief is here this evening with a number of officers. They are here because if we go through with an actual hearing, they would testify as to the incidents that have taken place at Anchor Pete's over the past 3 months, which are outlined in all the materials that have been provided to the council. The first thing I would like to do is officially ask the council to make a part of the record and hearing this evening all of the materials that have been provided, which include Chief Jeeber's summaries, along with numerous police reports as to activities that have taken place at Anchor Pete's during the past 3 months.
So you need a motion for that?
If you could, please.
Motion to make the documents that the solicitor referred to as
part of the record.
Part of the record for this hearing.
Second.
So moved. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the reason I had you do this is because this evening the owner and proprietor of Anchor Pete's, Peter Trikoulis, I hope I have that right, is prepared to admit to the violations. And in response, he has hired a new management company that is taking over beginning tomorrow with regard to who is and is not allowed into his premises, checking of IDs, keeping the minor book, all of the various items that have been listed, of course the main one being the service to underage individuals. He's willing to admit that, and I'm going to have him come up and do so in a second. The chief is going to recommend that if in fact he does, which he indicates he will, that they would be agreeable to the following, that if the council so chose, it could impose under your rules and regs for a first offense, impose a $500 fine. Anchor Pete's license would be suspended for a period of 10 days. We talked about beginning Monday, April 8th, only because obviously he has employees who are already scheduled to work over the next several days, but it would be with the new management company in place. He would be able to reopen again on Thursday, April 18th. In addition, he would show proof that all of his employees who serve alcohol, they will show certificates that they are TIPS trained or a similar training within the last 3 years, which is what the requirement is. Additionally, a minor's book will be kept. And finally, I think I mentioned that the management company that was running the place is out. He has with him the head of the new security and management company that will be running his premises beginning tomorrow evening.
Quick question for you.
Absolutely.
When you say management company, are we referring just to security company, or are we referring to management company of the...
No, security company, I'm sorry. Yeah, the bouncers and the people checking the IDs, yes. So with your permission, I'd like to have Mr. Tracoulis to come up to the microphone. Please just introduce yourself, and maybe you can explain to the council in your words what had been going on and what you've done now to basically reverse the problem.
I am Pete Tracoulis. We met a few times. I had a previous management company that was running the door and the IDs. I hired them because this is my first time running a bar, and I wanted to make sure they ran it right. I didn't know, checking IDs. I don't know what's legit, what's not. I have the book, but it's hard to see which one's real, which not. This technology these days is, I can't tell what's real, what's fake. So they did it, and I honestly believe that when I had running back to the bar or this or that, they were letting people in. They were pocketing whatever their admission fee was to get in, and I think that's what really happened. I don't really know what else to say, because they were just, they came in, they took $5, $10, they just let them in, and it's...
Right. So I think, Mr. Tracoulis, you're acknowledging that, in fact, as a result of that, underage individuals were being served alcohol at your premises.
Yeah, because I would constantly go up and ask them, everyone 21, I don't want to get screwed, I don't want to get in trouble. And they're like, yup, we got it under control, and...
Where did you find this management company, and what is the name of the management company?
Through Safety Management Solutions.
The representative from that company is here this evening if you'd like to question that individual, if you want to.
So that's the new company.
The new company, yes.
The new
No, I'm
company.
asking about the old
The
company.
previous? Yeah, it was through Penth Group. I think that was called, Freddie Security. He was supposed to, he texted me he was on his way here. He said he'd be here by 7:30. So that's the company we used. And like I said, I wanted to run things right, and that's why I even called the officer to put a detail on. Just, I don't want to play any. I don't want to lose them. This is all I have for a living, and I want to do it right. I thought I was doing it right before, and apparently not.
And your other business is more of a lunch breakfast place, if I can remember correctly?
I wanted to do lunch, breakfast.
No, meaning I was just referring because you talked about experience with...
Oh, yeah. It was always breakfast and lunch. We had a bar there, but it wasn't. It didn't turn into a club. And I think I made a mistake opening up in December. I should have opened up towards now. And I depended too much on the college kids. And what really happened was I was slow a lot, and I met these guys from one of these club promoters, and they told me they could help me out. I was telling them I'm struggling, and that's what happened. I was getting, all these bad comments on Facebook and Google, and it just sucks that I have to depend on college to survive. Just the locals didn't give me a fair chance, and it's reality. I just need to survive. I don't really want to go to college route, but as you go by there, it's an empty restaurant. They're the only ones spending any money.
So I guess one question I have is this new company that you're hiring, how will you monitor that things are being done correctly, and if they're not, how will you correct those?
Well, I know this company pretty well because I used to work at the Strand and Lupo's for a few years, and I used to work there, and they ran it right, and I trust that they're going to do it right. They're going to check every ID.
Right.
I think you really need to be trained, and you have to have this black lamp to see what these IDs are really hard to distinguish. I looked at some of them at the door, and I don't know what's real, what's fake. It's just,
There's no question. But
yeah.
So I guess what I'm driving at is I trust that the company that you hire will do a better job, but how will you monitor that? Ultimately, you're responsible. So how will you monitor that that is happening and that, you're not going to go down that path again.
Well, I don't know, I'm just going to have to stay up in the front with him and make sure everybody that goes in is 21. I don't know what are you allowed to do like an 18 plus with like a section of 21 and just separate people from like room to room?
My suggestion is I had the opportunity to talk to the gentleman that he's hiring before the meeting. Maybe we can get him up to explain how he runs the system to assure the council that this behavior will not continue.
I just have one question before he comes up. So how many nights a week have you hired this security company to come in?
How many nights?
How many nights will they be there?
Oh, we have a Wednesday night, and then we're doing like a brunch on Sunday where that was easier to maintain. So it'd be 2 days a week, and I told the details it'd be 2 days a week. I don't want to do college more than Wednesday and Sunday. It's just I get home 5 in the morning, and I don't. It's not the route I want to go. It's just me.
So what is your plan to stop underage drinking on the nights you don't have this company?
The nights we don't have underage.
The nights that you don't have the college events, I guess.
Oh yeah. Like,
how are your employees being trained to?
Well, all my bartenders are tip certified.
That doesn't train about IDs.
Yeah.
That just
But
trains
I'm
about
going to get one of them. I'm going to look up where I'm going to talk to them where I can get one of them black lighting things that you slide the card to see if it's legit or not. Those what are they called? Those things that you check the ID. Infrared thing, and just scan it that way. That will tell me if it's real or not.
So you have no plans to formally train the doormen that you have hired. So you have hired doormen, correct?
Yes.
Yourself.
Yeah, he's going to do all the hiring.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the nights that
we don't
his
have the
staff
college night.
is not there, how are you training your employees to recognize underage patrons?
I'm going to talk to him, and he's going to train us. We're going to have like a group training, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to properly be trained.
Is anyone trained in crowd control?
Crowd control. Well, the previous ones we had bouncers there. From that group provided like 8 bouncers.
Does the state still require crowd control training? I'm talking about the fact that I know I had to train, 20 employees in crowd control 10 years ago, and I don't know if that statute still remains because of the,
Station fire?
Joe Jaber, Chief of Police. The only thing I would know, I've never heard of the crowd control, but I do know the fire department can be called if they have too many people in the building.
Yeah, no, there's a certification for employees with, I do know the Newport Restaurant Group is still training in crowd control. I know that exists, so perhaps we could also encourage Mr. Trikoulis to get some training in that.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
It is a good idea.
And, also the TIPS certification, I don't know that.
So state law says I think they have 60 or 90 days if they're seasonal employees, but I don't know if we can supersede that because 90 days is a long time. It's summer employees. You can hire them in June and they don't need to be TIP certified until September. So I don't know if we can supersede the TIP certification ruling and make it a 30-day or, from the date of hire. I think right now it's 60 and I
Yes.
think it's 90 seasonally.
I know it's 60, I don't know about the 90.
Well, I think in the summer they give you 90 because,
I think it's federal, actually. Every state has its own version, but it's a federal
Right.
law. So.
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
Our rules and regulations specifically require the course to be completed within 60 days. So that's what our rules say. That's pretty typical.
The security company would be great.
Good evening.
Hello?
My name is Louis Stravato. I'm one of the owners of Safety Management Solution. My other partners are Anthony Manfredi and attorney Nick Heeman. I'm a retired Providence police officer of 26 years. I've been retired for 6 years now. I'm just starting with this company, but Anthony's been doing the security field for a while as well. All our employees are floor host certified, so they know how to identify, licenses and crowd control, as you're concerned about, and stuff of that nature. So we have some of our accounts, upcoming accounts is going to be the URI graduation, the URI dances. We have Blue on the Water. We have cellos on the waterfront too. I mean, we're busy. So.
How many people how many employees do you anticipate bringing on a Wednesday night?
That's a great question. I'd have to talk to my partner about that. I'll let you guys know down the road. I can call the chief. I can, however you want me to do it, it will be done.
When Councilman DeCruz asked Mr. Trikulis who his previous security company was, he mentioned Manfredi Security Solutions. Is that your partner?
No, Anthony was, he is my partner, right? But I don't know how or what Anthony had involved with your thing.
You got to come up to the microphone.
I'm sorry.
He has to come to the microphone.
Casey from Penth Group he was supposed to be coming here. He told me he was running late, but he's the one who did the outsourcing to the company.
So I don't believe it was Anthony.
So when you said Manfredi earlier, was that you misspoke?
I thought that was the guy he had this guy named Joe from that group, and that's all I know, but he should be here to explain. He's the one who called the company, because he's the one who came to me to start this.
So this particular person, is he the promoter? Then he called a security company.
I've never done this. Can you help me? Help me out. And he walked me through this.
So this particular person, just so we're clear, so I can understand, he is someone that came to you or connected with you and said, "I can bring people in here," and then that person then contracted or helped you contract with a security company that they recommended.
And I said, listen, I told him to make sure that, they're secured, insured, because I don't want to have any problems. And when the guy came, he had his certificate. He was insured and this and that.
So, are you intending on continuing to have a relationship with this promotional company for?
I don't know. Part of me doesn't even want to do the college night, to be honest. I'd rather just do the restaurant. I don't know. But if I were to do security, any events, Louis I'm going to go forward with Louis. I'm not going to hire anyone these guys recommend.
Other questions?
Did you also say you're going to have a police detail? So if you were to continue with these Wednesday night events, in addition to the security company, there will be a police detail too.
9:30 to 1:30. I called up yesterday to book it. Same on Sunday too.
Can you explain the Sunday, because you said Sunday brunch?
We serve breakfast, lunch, dinner. We had mimosas.
Okay.
And a lot of college kids showed up. And I told the officer, I'm going to hire you for Sunday as well. But it's a different crowd. It wasn't. I feel like they were not the same people that showed up on a Wednesday. They were more, I think everyone over there, the majority of them were over 21.
What time do you close on Sundays? Is it?
We closed at 5 last week. I want to stay open a little longer. Not with them. I want to finish them at 12 to 5 with that brunch crowd, but I want to do a dinner afterwards.
Okay.
Can you tell us how detrimental you believe a 10-day liquor license suspension would be to the continuation of your business?
I mean, the reality is it's going to hurt, you know, but it's going to hurt a little bit. You know, the only business I do is on a Saturday and Sunday. In reality, in this business, the only margins and profits you make is in liquor. There's really no profits in food. Food's expensive as it is, and you can't really sell that high. You're banking on, I do $7.95 lunches, I do $10 dinners to get people in there to spend like a few bucks on a beer. That's how you make money, but you know, if you were just doing straight food, you can't survive. And like I said, I never really wanted to go this college route, but you drive by there at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, places dead. No one's coming. I mean, I got a daughter to feed. I got houses. I got the rent to pay, and it's just you can't make it. You can't make it on food. I can't keep a staff in there because no one's coming in there to eat. Sometimes I'm running the place by myself. It just sucks. It's a ghost town in here till the summer. It just sucks. It's really hard to make it work.
Well, I know that there have been discussions. The penalty, I guess, if we're going to refer to it as that, to me, I think is a fair one, the $500 fine, the license suspension for 10 days. But my question, I guess, is to the chief after hearing this testimony is, are you comfortable? And I know that the future is hard to predict, but...
Exactly. I can't tell from
Yeah.
The statements he's made of whether we're going to be doing the same thing over again or this. I think this is the most that I can ask for a first offense, so I really don't have any choice. I'm content with that, and I spoke to the solicitor, and we both think at this point that would be fair. A couple of things I would like to mention is on that Sunday was some type of reggae festival, and they had those electronic pipes at the table for smoking, and I just want to make it clear to Mr. Tribucalis, is that right? Tribucalis, that smoking is not allowed in a lounge or bar. So, sorry, it's kind of an invasive answer, but I wish I could
fair.
be certain because my folks are pretty busy over there, and we have a big town to cover, especially during the summer, so we can't be running over there
Right.
2 or 3 times a night with 7 or 8 people if we have them. So
I understand.
I hope that he can straighten that out.
I was arguing with those guys. They told me they got in my face and they said they were vaping. It's legal. I was trying to get it out, and
Under the statute, it's smoking, and that's not allowed.
that's what I mean. I just didn't want to get into a fight because they were a big crowd, and it was just me and 2 security guys, and
Right.
You should call us.
yeah. If I'm not going to allow whatever that was, the electronic hookah.
Thank you. Any other comments up here?
What is the capacity of one of those nights, I guess?
200 and
274?
Could you come to the...
Yeah, we have a guy. The security guy was clicking at the door. He's got the clicker, but what's to say what really is going in or not?
Do you recall how many people have been coming to those events? Approximately?
A few times it was dead. A few times it was busy, and I believe it was over 250. maybe more. I honestly don't know. It's just. No, 234. So, I mean, now that we're stricter, I don't think there's that many 21-year-olds that will, I mean, it'll probably be half of what it used to be now that we're stricter. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would just say make sure you stay within the fire code occupancy.
So, any other?
Thing,
Sure.
the town ordinance regulations, they require a certain amount of food or a certain percentage to be served with the alcohol. So I also want to make it clear that it's not strictly alcohol. You have to serve a certain amount of food.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Right, that is true. I mean, right now, I honestly feel like it is more food than liquor during, because I'm open, like, you know, I get a little bit of lunch here and there and some dinners here and there, you know. But now that we're stricter, you'll see like half the crowd in there, you know, than what it was before.
Well, yeah, it's, again, hard to predict the future. But is this perhaps...
Penthouse, Pent Group.
Could you introduce him just a
Casey Cianci from Pent Group,
Okay.
The promoter.
the promoter?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions for the...
Yeah, if you don't mind.
You want?
Hi, how are you guys doing?
You just first introduce yourself.
Sure. Casey Cianci. I co-own Platinum Entertainment Group with my partner, Dave Osei.
And in what capacity are you associated with the Anchor Pete's group?
We promote Wednesday nights for them.
And how is that promoted?
Through our social media, through word of mouth campaigns.
And
through the
promoted as
university.
what? What is the promotion?
The promotion? Just to, we put a DJ on, we provide music that we believe that crowd is listening to at the time. And they come out and socialize and dance and enjoy themselves.
And you're charging a cover?
We do, yes, ma'am.
And the cover includes what?
It includes 2 drinks. It's kind of, we mirrored Ocean Mist on Tuesday nights.
So technically, the state liquor rules don't allow that you can't tie drinks to an entrance fee. You can charge an entrance fee for the entertainment, but you can't tie an entrance fee to drinks.
Oh, I was not aware of that because they've been doing that in town for so long that...
Shouldn't be happening.
All right,
And by the way, you can also give out food as part of the entrance fee. In other words, you can give out food, you can do entertainment, but you can't tie an entrance fee to actual drinks.
I wasn't aware of that. I apologize.
learn something new every day.
I had no idea.
So your company recommended this security company previously that seems to have been allowing underage persons to enter.
They've carded everybody that was in there, sir, and everybody. What seems to be happening is all the students have fake IDs now. So and when they come into the establishment, they use their fake ID. It's very hard to tell. I don't know if the police provide you guys any examples of them, but and then when the police confront them and ask them to show an ID, they hide their fake ID and show real identification. Does that make sense?
One of the concerns I have, though, is another concern about the security company was taking a fee at the door potentially for entrance and not.
I don't believe that to be true, sir. I've been at the front almost every Wednesday and for most of the time, and I have not witnessed that myself. So I believe that to be false.
Well, I think the reports that we got indicate that patrons who were allowed in admitted that they had paid that.
They paid the fee for their entrance and drink tickets, but not to the bouncer. All the money was gone through our company.
Yeah, well, I think they indicated they did pay it to a bouncer, so. I mean, these are the people.
Oh, it's correct. The police reports make it clear that it was going on. You may not personally have observed it, but it was observed, and it did happen, and it just can't happen again. And Mr. Trikoulis has indicated he is no longer going to use the security company that he has used in the past.
Understand it, sir.
And if you are going to be looking for or you've perhaps already made a recommendation for the new security company, this new one, ideally, hopefully, you've already spoken to them about, this is what has happened in the past. We absolutely can no longer have behavior.
Yes, so we actually have a representative here from the new security company.
He's already spoken.
Okay. But the security company we've used in the past, we use them at the Ryan Center. The Ryan Center used them. We use them for all of our concerts, events. They're very well known and bonded and insured.
The one in the past, as in the one that while we were having the issues at the...
Correct, sir.
What was the name of that company?
Ness.
Ness. What does that stand for? Is that an acronym?
Northeast Security Solutions.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Do you do a lot of these promotions throughout the state, or?
We mostly focus on concerts and live events. We do a lot of shows at Lupo's, the Ryan Center, University of Massachusetts, New York, Connecticut. That's the main part of our business, is talent buying and live events.
Have you had problems like this in the past?
No, sir.
So what do you attribute the issues we're facing here? What do you attribute that to? The lack of training of the people at the door? I think there were issues where people the door was not being staffed appropriately. People were coming in. The police gave witness to the fact that they entered the establishment and there was no one at the door. So tell me how this evolved into this issue we're having now.
I would say it would be from the easy access to fake identifications. I've heard of a few websites that students can easily order them from China. So I would attribute it to that, to be honest, ma'am. When the police came in, I was right at the door, and even when the undercovers came in, I was there, and they paid a cover as well. So I'm confused.
Well, if the issue is that the fake IDs are so good that they can't be detected, I don't know how we fix that going forward.
Well, there's infrared technology that there is a machine that can be used.
Yeah.
And I think the other issue is, hopefully with the new security company, someone's always going to be at the door, because obviously there's evidence from the police that when they went there was no one at the door from time to time. So,
Do you have a copy of that report, sir? I haven't read that.
it's a public report. We can make it available to you.
Thank you.
It's been accepted as part of the record at this hearing, actually.
And I think we did provide it, correct?
We provided it to Mr. Trikoulis.
Right.
So he's got the whole thing.
So, I mean, in my opinion, we want this to be solved as well. So it's a multi-pronged thing for me. So we seem to have come up with what we're calling a first offense, but actually there were repeated instances on different dates, but a fine and a closure. It's a fairness issue to me. There are plenty of other establishments in our town that are operating without these issues. But ultimately, we want this solved for everybody, for both sides of the table here. And then the third thing is if the police department is satisfied that we can move forward with this recommendation and hope that we clear some of these things up. I mean, I'm satisfied.
Yeah, I think the point is that we just hope we don't have to do this again.
Me too, sir.
Other comments? So I think this is the first offense. You know, the punishment fits the crime, so to speak. In terms of the 10-day suspension, and you don't necessarily have to stand up there, sir. I know it's Mr. Chakoulis' hearing it is. I think there's a certain amount of skepticism up here at the table that I'm sensing just from sort of the answers that you've given tonight. But I think we obviously want to give you a second chance. We sort of have to. But my concern is, you know, if you continue to promote this event the way you have in the past, you're probably going to get the same problems, because what I've heard is that these people have very good IDs. They're still going to be coming if you're promoting it to these people. So, you know, my best advice is to try and find another business model. I know it's been tough for you, but something where you're not attracting these problematic underage kids. But that being said, I think, you know, everybody gets another chance.
And I also think that we all want to see your business be successful in our town. It takes a lot to invest in a business, and sometimes things get difficult, and we understand that. But we have to protect the town itself and the folks in the town and make sure that it's a safe place at the same time. I don't know the technology, but I hope that the technology that you're going to be purchasing will eliminate the problem with the fake IDs. And then also just intuition as well, you know, with folks be asking the right questions at the door. And making those decisions. You know, if you're worried or concerned that someone's not of age, I don't know how that works from a legal standpoint, but, you know, they have to scrutinize that person more at the door.
And every bar owner needs to do exactly the same thing,
right,
as Abel mentioned.
So I would just encourage you to use the 10 days to train your staff during that time. You may lose some staff during that time, because when you live on tips, 10 days is a long time to not bring home any money. But I would encourage you to reach out now to one of the tip certification firms and bring them in-house and get all of your staff trained. And there's also a piece of that on recognizing IDs. So you could also incorporate that on top of the TIPS training or ServSafe or whichever route you're going. And I would really like to see you in that 10-day time get every employee certified. Just make it a rule of employment. And you can certainly make that a rule of your employment as to hiring people that are already trained with those certifications. That's what I would like to see. I'm not a big fan of the penalty, the $500. I'm not a big fan of and I don't love the 10-day closure. I think that hurts your staff more than it hurts you, and I don't like to see that. But I think it's a necessary evil at this time for you to regroup and reevaluate your business model.
I think, all 5 of us up here, are in support of your business. It's unfortunate we're in this situation right now, but we do have to crack down hard on you. Even though it's a first offense, you are operating with illegal activity, and it's unfortunate. We understand that it can be tough as a new business, being able to continue and, operate, with solvency. And we know this 10-day suspension will be a blow, as well as the $500 fee. But we need to set the precedent here, and hopefully you guys can learn from this and come back stronger.
So what you need is a motion along the lines of that, based upon the record that's been presented here this evening, including the testimony of the witnesses and the written materials that have been submitted and the admission by Mr. Tracoulis that what has been alleged, in fact, did occur at his premises. Based on all of that, you will be imposing a $500 fine, which, by the way, it's cost the town a lot in police work. So that it's somewhat to make up for that, although it doesn't come close. But $500 fine, a 10-day suspension, which will begin on Monday, April 8th, with the reopening on Thursday, April 18th, that all staff who's serving be appropriately tip certified, that a minor's book be kept. And I think that's as far as we can go under your regulations as to what you can impose. I think the council has made it very clear that they would like to see all of this happen during the training, the crowd control, the tips training, because that'll help you be successful going forward. You won't fall back into this. But if someone could move that and second it, and then you can have discussion and vote.
So I will move that.
So moved.
So moved motion, as the solicitor's motion.
Second.
Second, so moved. Any discussion on this?
I just had one quick question. You asked for the April 8th start date, or was that?
I'd rather have started it now, but then I have everyone scheduled to work, and I just feel like it's appropriate to someone.
You could change it to April 6th or April 5th. We're trying to accommodate the fact, or I, in discussing with him, was trying to accommodate the fact that you might have had employees who are scheduled to show up over the next few days. But I don't think the chief, or certainly the council, does not have a problem if you want to start it sooner than the 8th. Now's the time to tell them. If you want to begin on Saturday or Sunday or Friday or Thursday.
The only reason I'm asking that question is because we're getting to the point where more people are coming down here. So I just trying to make sure that you're not losing as much as,
Yeah, I don't want to just tell people like last second maybe they're dependent on making some money this weekend. So I'll just start at Monday.
That's fair.
Do you have a college night scheduled for tomorrow?
He indicated that they had advertised for a college night for tomorrow, also indicated that the new security firm would be in place and there will be a police detail. Be a good test.
All right, so there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I think I'd just like to reiterate, I think everybody up here wants you to be successful. So understand that we have a responsibility, but we're hoping that you solve this, that you figure it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I may, the police detail, sometimes it's difficult to get a police officer that short a notice, so there's a possibility we may not. I still want you to try to get the detail, but there's a possibility we may not be able to fill it at that short a notice, but we will try.
Could he fill it from another district or no? If there was nobody?
I'm not certain about the liability.
Okay.
I can check into that, though.
Yeah, that might. I don't think that's going to work.
It was just a question.
Yeah. Okay.
Good question, though.
All right, thanks, Chief. And thanks to all the officers who put in time on this issue. Thanks for coming in and, working with the town.
We didn't.
No.
You had a motion and a second.
Ready? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. And that's the end of tonight's agenda. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
So moved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And that concludes the meeting at 7:53.